And ET Now on the Go is back, this time reporting from the Silicon Valley of India, Bangalore. We caught up with Biocon Biologics MD and CEO Shreehas Tambe at the company's sprawling Bangalore facility and had a deep dive discussion from their newly acquired company to $1 billion revenue milestone to the aspiration of becoming the top global player in biosimilar space. Take a glimpse and catch the entire conversation on ET Now.
Getting into the billion-dollar club is always something that you aspire to do, and I think post the acquisition that we did on the Viatris business, it was really important for us to get past that billion-dollar number.
Right.
And we did that last year. We went from being a two-country present science and ops company to be a fully integrated company present in 120 countries. So that $1 billion is, well, important psychologically, but most importantly, it put us in a very unique club where we became one of the top 5 biosimilars companies in the world.
Brilliant.
So that is really what it means to us, and I think it's positioned us very well to become a leading global biosimilars player.
Absolutely. And like you also mentioned just now, you have operations in over 120 nations, right? And it's a huge global footprint that you have. So tell us, how are these advanced economies actually helping you, your company, and the growth that you are having there as well?
Yeah, and just to go back in time, just to give you a sense of what we were, for a very large part of our existence, we were a science and operations company, which means we did where all the magic happened. Where we made the drugs, we developed it, we manufactured it, but we really partnered with very strong commercial front-end players who are actually able to take these products to patients. What's changed post the acquisition really, when I talk about the 120 countries, is we actually have now a commercial engine which is able to serve patients directly.
Right.
And that is really what is a big transformation for us, because we believe that for us to be able to serve 1 billion patients, which Kiran talks about, I think it's very important for us to have had that integrated model.
Right.
And that is really what has helped us become this leading player that we are today.
All right. So you have presence in the advanced economies. Tell me how emerging markets, what role is emerging markets playing for the company as well?
So emerging markets is where we started our business from. So it's very special for us. India is where we began. And India is very, very close to our heart. Everything that we've done is to serve the billion-odd people that we have here. But we've expanded to see how can we serve people across the world.
Right.
Emerging markets was, I would say, roughly about 50% of our business before the acquisition. Today, advanced economies have 70% of our business. So it's a 70-30 business, but then the pie is also grown substantially. So emerging market continues to grow at a 20% CAGR, which is a very strong growth rate. And we are partnered with over 70 different players across countries. So we believe in partnering, in shared success and collaboration. Advanced economies is a whole different game, and we are very, very well positioned in the US and in Europe to take advantage of that.
Given the fact we did speak about the research and development, it is very critical, right? And also what is critical, the money that you put in for this research and development. So how does that all work? Do you have to invest more? Are you investing more every year and each year to maintain your leadership position when it comes to this R&D?
I think one of the things that you need to have is a scientist at the helm, like Kiran Mazumdar-Shaw.
Yes, absolutely.
She calls herself an accidental entrepreneur, which is not true. But the fact is that she's a scientist at heart.
Right.
And what's driven Biocon and what's different about our DNA is really Kiran. It's because of the ethos that she's brought into the company. What's differentiated us over the years is the product portfolio. Our commitment to be driven by science. So we got into the biosimilar space even before guidelines were published. And that was because of our firm commitment that if we follow the science, we're going to eventually get there.
You did speak about how you all have reached the $1 billion milestone, and also your company also is among the top companies when you talk about biosimilars globally, right? So now you have an aspiration to be among the top 3 biosimilar companies in the world.
Yeah.
So what will drive that growth? What will be the key drivers to achieve that sort of a goal?
Well, I think I would be probably aiming low if I said amongst top 3, if I don't say top, because because the way we are slated, a company which has 5 new products launching in the US in the next 15 to 18 months, and 3 new products across the world, I think should really be aiming high. And I think we are very excited about the opportunity ahead of us, and we believe that that puts us in a very unique position. Not just that the products that we've got have over a fourth or a fifth of the market that it operates in, but it also has huge new products that are coming in that will drive growth ahead. So not only are we excited about what we have, but we are very excited about what's to come. And that's why I wouldn't say that.
So I'll change my question, I'll revise it. Your
We should be the leading player.
You're going to be the leading player in the world.
I think the aspiration should be to be the leading player.
Yeah, to be the leading player. I wanted to understand, so what sort of a roadmap of, or sort of a target that you have for growth for Biocon Biologics?
Well, as I said, we've been growing at a very, very healthy clip. If you see between 23 and 24, partly driven by the acquisition, we grew at a very, very healthy clip, maybe 50 or plus %. What is more important, Cheryl, to note is at no point has growth been just revenue sales or increase in sales. It's actually been profitable growth. One of the things that we've constantly insisted on is we call it growth only when you have a profitable increase in revenues. If you otherwise don't grow the business, then it's not what we are interested in. So we are steadily growing that business. We haven't given a guidance on what it's going to look like, but we believe that where we are at this base, to be in that top 5 is a good start. We expect to move from top 5 to top 3, which we don't see as a big challenge, and then aspire to be the leading player.
Let's talk something about your financials. You recently refinanced your debt. This is through listing of bonds in Singapore Exchange. How does this actually help in deleveraging the business?
I think this is a very important question from a financial standpoint, and I think I want to go back a little bit to the acquisition that we've been talking about. When we made the acquisition, I want to take you back to how Kiran's built the company. For 45 years of our existence, we've always been a cash positive company for all along, even today. And we've never leveraged our balance sheet. So we've never had debt on our books. It was only when we came up with this transformational opportunity that will transform what Biocon Biologics is as a company, which is what I said, went from 2-country operation to 120-country operation, a science and ops company to a fully integrated company, and becoming one in top 5. So it was really a transformational opportunity. That is when we decided that we're going to take debt on our books for the first time. So when we did the acquisition, it was a $3.3 billion, let's say $3 billion acquisition. $800 million came from our own equity. 1.2 billion was debt. Okay. Now what we've done at this point in time was that $1.2 billion debt is what we have refinanced. Okay. And that refinanced through a bond, so that we don't have to worry about any short-term repayment of that money. We've really packaged it in such a manner such that we don't have to worry about it for the next 5 years. And then in that 5 years, the business then gets time to grow, and we can focus on that. The opportunity ahead of us is large. The next 10 years will see almost 50 odd billion dollar assets losing exclusivity. So the cumulative sales of those assets are over $270 billion. So that tells you that the opportunity ahead of us is far greater than what we have seen so far.
Any timeline, any roadmap about IPO for Biocon Biologics?
Yeah.
Because and also you gave me a number also of how the other businesses that were incubated at Biocon, $1 billion IPO for most of them. Have you all done any study on that also for your company?
Yeah, well, I can tell you this is the most asked question, like you said, but not in the way you asked it, in terms of what is the valuation expected. I think the important thing is, like I told you before, when you go to an IPO, you want to be very clear in terms of what you want to do once you list as a company.
Right.
What is your strategy once you have listed, gone to the market? How do you provide investors with a growth path to say that now I've gotten this infusion of funds into the company, what's the growth story going forward? But before you went on to a growth path, as I said, the three-pronged strategy was preserve, consolidate, accelerate. Until you preserved value, which we did, and now you consolidate, which we are doing, you couldn't have gone to the accelerate phase and said that. I think some of the big unlocks that you've seen so far is the fund raise that we did through the bond. And I think that's really good because we no longer have to worry about debt repayment for the next 5 years.
Right.
So the bank loans taken care of. It was very important for us to unlock markets in the US, which we have done with the approval of our sites and the new product launches. So that's the second big unlock. And now we're looking really to see what the growth story should be, which is what we can take to investors who can then place their trust and their funds with us so that we bring it to the market. In terms of the valuation that you asked for, at the last fundraise, we've been several times higher than the previous ones already.
Okay.
So we would look at a larger valuation in terms of what it should be. I wouldn't hazard a guess of what that number would be, but we are very excited about what we have built at Biocon Biologics, and I'm sure our investors and your viewers will see the value in what we are building here.